Okay, so we are live, and I'm gonna let you, bro, because you the one that wrangled this in. I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce and present her. So go ahead, do your thing.
All right, now coming to the stage, the
Oh
one,
no!
the only, y'all, give her a hand for the Motown witch.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Really coming to the stage now? You know she can dance, right?
Bring
Okay,
out my inner
exactly.
stripper.
That's why I said that. She finna bring out the scimitar in a minute.
I was gonna say 100%. You know she can come with it if you put her out there. She can put her skirt on and do something now.
Yeah, baby, we're live.
So Yvette, introduce yourself and tell us what you do, because I know I came across you on Facebook, and it actually was memes that got me first, because I was like, oh my God, I love her sense of humor. And then I realized, I said, oh, she does this and she does that, and she has her own shop and she's presenting classes. So it was just like a whole other world opened up. And I was just, and you're amazing. I have to say that I'm girl crushing. I mean, it's unfortunate that you married, but I saw your husband. I like your husband. But I met you in Denver, and I was like, oh my God, she's even more attractive in person. And then the personality and the knowledge and everything else was there. So go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you. You can my sense of humor is attributed to my father. I have my dad's sense of humor. It's called an only child of a warped man. So
That might be a blessing, though. That might be a blessing.
yeah, my dad passed in 2013, and I found a folder in my Yahoo groups and my Yahoo emails of all these inappropriate jokes that he used to send. So,
Oh,
you know, but this is just me growing up, being raised by a Southern grandmother, spending my summer. So learning from all of that, and then growing up in a Polish community, so you learn that part as well. Um, and I think I started calling myself a witch when I was around 10. So, but that was just for the healer process of it, not the whole Wicca thing and all the other stuff. So I've dabbled. I've been a priestess of a Kemetic temple. I started with Ephod, and that person showed me his true colors. And then I went to Voodoo, and then that person showed me her true colors. So I just decided that Yvette is just Yvette, and here we are.
you know, I think that's actually, it's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people assume when you see somebody on their spiritual journey that all this stuff is falling into place and you're finding the right mentors and you're making the right connections. And I think it's really good to share that you've had some misgivings. I've had misgivings with people, and you've decided that you're going to do your own thing at this point. You're going to make it what it is, yours, because it truly comes back to spirit connection.
Right.
So it doesn't, I mean, whatever tradition or whatever you want to call it, it always comes back down to spirit connection.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you based in Detroit. Have you always been in Detroit?
Technically, well, I mean, I grew up inside of a little Polish city inside of Detroit. It's a
Mhm.
little small city called Hamtramck inside of Detroit.
Mm.
But I've always lived here. I think I lived for like a year in Maryland, DC area. Other than that, here I've been.
That's good. We got people on here saying Detroit is listening. So you got your people. Your people came through because they want to
Ah.
hear. So I think that's good though. The support is there, and it's showing the love too.
Mhm.
Because I know you do a lot in your community. I know you were about to do the Detroit Festival, and I'm so disappointed that you had to cancel, because I know you put so much energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a postponing.
That's what we'll say.
Yeah,
You're
we're
right.
postponing.
Postponing.
Yeah.
Postponing. Will
Mm.
we postponing until what? What month next year?
I'm thinking April because I'm thinking of when it's not so cold here. We have so many people coming from southern states, and I would really not like to introduce them to Detroit winter.
We appreciate that. We we 100% appreciate that. I got that wake up call in Denver when I woke up that morning and it was snowing. I was like, "What is this?
Yeah, but it
We
wasn't
don't do this."
cold. It wasn't cold snow, so we were good.
It wasn't cold snow?
No.
Oh.
In Detroit, it'll snow like that, and it'll be like 12 below zero with winds and stuff. So, no.
No. Well, then April, it is. I will be there.
Yeah. And that's also my birthday month.
Oh, well, then that'll be even better. That'll be because you got a lot to celebrate.
Yes.
Bro, you're gonna be teaching, right? At the festival.
Yeah.
What were you gonna be teaching? I forgot. What were you gonna be teaching in the festival?
My first class was gonna be sexual conjure.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
folks are excited for that.
Yeah, I was hyped. Matter of fact, that the last live we did, the love work, I gave a taste of what I was gonna teach with the whole sugar daddy conjure and stuff. So
You gave a little bit just to make women kind of like, okay, I want more, because I don't know why they were in my inbox, but they were in my inbox talking about what was the recipe for the sugar daddy, and I was like, no. He had the recipe for the sugar daddy. So it's like, you need to get with him. So Yvette, tell us about your shop, because I know through this COVID and everything that you're still open, you still are putting products out there, people can still kind of come to you. So give any information that you want to put out there about the shop, because we still got people that need supplies.
Yeah, I tried to close. I did. I tried to close. I closed for about 3 or 4 days, and my phone was blowing up, and everyone was calling and inboxing and emailing. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So I let 2 or 3 people in at a time. That's it. Today I had 3 people at one time. That was the most I've let in it, but that was because the 3 of them were together. Some things have been a little bit scarce because, like, my candle supplier in New York, they closed down in New York.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I found another candle supplier who was local, so it worked out. So I'm getting my stuff that I need, including being able to make some of my own formulations. So there will be Motown witch candles coming out soon.
Oh,
So
good.
those kind of things happen. But yeah, we do everything. Like today, a lady came in and she was like brokenhearted, and luckily Cassie was there, because I am the surly one. I don't do that hard shit. So I'm sorry.
She's like, nah, but at least you're putting it out there so that they know.
Yeah, I'm not that mushy gushy girl. That's not me. So, but we managed to help her and get her together. So we work together.
Well, you got a lot of people in here that are saying hi to you. So I don't know if you can see the comments on your end.
No.
But you got a lot of people in the house. Nikki from Omaha with the Conjure Shop is saying hello. And a lot of people are saying right now getting things are hard. But I think the good thing about it is, like for you, it's opening up other avenues for people to figure out local businesses that can supply them.
Yes.
And opening up, something that you can get in quicker. So like you say too, pouring your own. I've been pouring my own. And I think it's just making it I feel like it's easier. Mm-hmm. So that if something shuts down, it's like, okay, well, I can still handle it. But a lot of people are saying definitely getting supplies are scarce. Now, bro, you got questions? I don't want to monopolize, because I can sit up here and just chat with her.
Oh, no, go ahead. I haven't thought of anything to ask yet, so go ahead.
You haven't thought of anything? What struck me, and let me see, where is it at? Because I have it. Hold up. Where did I put it? And I pulled it out. Let me see. I bought a chicken foot from you. I think the damn cat, Yvette, took the chicken foot.
I didn't tell you about this cat.
He took the chicken foot. I had it up because he kept messing with it, and it was beautiful. It's purple. And wait a minute. Look at it. I hung it back up. So you guys, I went to the Conjure Festival in Denver, and I happened to go to her table. They had her in a little room or whatever. First of all, I was excited. So I think I went in there, and then I saw this. This is what I saw first. And then I was like, okay, I gotta have this, because I thought it was beautiful. And I got a ton of chicken feet around here, but this one definitely. In fact, I kind of copied your style a little bit. Because I was like, oh, I love the feathers and the way it was situated. So I went and got this, and then I think I got some shredded money, and I got something else. and I was really excited about it. But your husband had made a case with shells. And it was beautiful. And I remember I kept looking at it and I was like, oh, but I'm not servicing the water spirit. Do I need to get it? I mean, it was amazing. And then y'all came out with some other things that you and he had created that were really, really beautiful, like things that I hadn't even seen before. How does it feel? Because I know a lot of people can't work with their partner when it comes to creating things, but you two seem to work like really, really hand in hand when it comes to creating spiritual products. How does that work for you?
It kind of just happened. I mean, we've not been married that long, so it kind of happened in starting to date him and him being in capoeira and all the Brazilian martial arts things, and I was doing Zumba and belly dance, and so we were both very active. And then we started looking at the similarities amongst all the different ATRs, including Candomblé in there. So then he started learning, I guess, the color combinations and everything. And then there's the dances. So part of what he does with his practice is learning the dances. And I was taking African dance classes in DC and learning the Orisha dances. So it all just kind of crossed over and melted together, and it just worked out. So when he's creating, I created a spot in the basement. He has his own little part, and he goes down there and does his thing. And I'll go to bed and I'll come down, and there's beautiful stuff on the dining room table saying, "Here, take this to the store." So
that, you know what, that is an amazing thing. I always keep telling people I need a spiritual man in my life. I need somebody that can pour some candles and pray and do some things. That's what I want. And a lot of people are like, no, that's not the connection you want, but I do. Because I see that
difference.
It does. I think it makes things work. And I love the way that he supports you. I mean, he completely talked you up, and he was like, the business, this is what we do. This is what we growing. So I really love that energy of that. It's really hard nowadays finding people that have your back like that, and especially getting in a relationship with them where they could share that.
I had to find a younger dude. That was the trick.
I'm not opposed to that now. I'm not.
She was like, wait a minute now. What?
I'm not opposed.
She's like, oh, well.
But hey, if it happened, it happened. But I think connection with spirituality is important if you're going to have a partnership.
It is.
I really do.
With the spirituality and with even the entrepreneur thing, because well, how long are you going to be doing that? Or they don't have that. What do you mean you're going to go vend? I want to go hang out. You know, that kind of stuff. So that's all important.
It's true. I 100% agree with that. I remember I was with somebody and I was doing service to my spirits, and they were like, okay, how long is that going to be? And I'm like, it's going to be however long I need it to be.
See?
Because that was important to me, but I realized to them that it wasn't.
Right.
So they felt like it was an inconvenience, and that was like that was a deal breaker. That was like, okay, yeah, we can't connect. So it is important. I'm trying to see if we have any comments. Let me see from anybody. Let me see. Somebody always trying to tame the cougars on here. Let the cougars live. Let us do what we do. Always trying to tame a cougar.
Trying to be. That happened.
Ridiculous. Bro, you see any questions on your side?
No, not right. Let me see if I can refresh. If I refresh it, I might see.
Now, you say you started calling yourself a witch at 10, and you went through some different traditions trying to figure out what was the right path. What do you feel most comfortable? I mean, I don't want to loop it in because I know with me, I'm like you, there's certain things that I have tried, but voodoo definitely is my connection. I think it's hard to find people that you can connect to and grow and learn with.
Yeah.
But it is what I feel stronger in. What do you feel more connected with in your practice?
That's the one I feel the most connected with, but it's just that finding that niche with people. I have a I'm quiet, you know, but it's certain people just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but Voodoo is the one that speaks to me the most, probably because me and my affinity for cemeteries and spirits and dead things. So I don't know, you know. Even the other day, Tata Campo and them were doing a thing on Santa Muerte. And I looked around my house. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know how many of these statues. I mean, look at the headband. I wear skulls all the time. So
I think sometimes spirit calls to us, and we make connections that we don't even realize we make. Because I'm the same way. There's certain spirits that I said I wouldn't work with, and then I realized, oh, I have some of their stuff here. Or, you know, somebody either gave it to me or I bought it mindlessly without even understanding. And it is a connection. Even with Haitian voodoo, I didn't think that I would conzo. I really didn't feel, when I first talked to Hoodoo Sin Moise, I really was kind of just trying to make a connection with voodoo because I wanted to learn properly and not just be out here doing whatever. And when I talked to him later, he said, Spirit said, you're going to conzo. And I was kind of like, oh, didn't know, wasn't really looking for it. And I kind of felt like it was a lot of responsibility that scared me at first. But I do agree that there's something about it, the music, the drums, the connection with spirit, how deep that you could really go, the trance of it. It's just beautiful. And I think a lot of people don't realize how healing it can be personally.
Right.
When you make those connections. Now, do you also offer dance in Detroit?
No.
No.
Detroit, the politics in Detroit with all the ATR stuff is so ridiculous. My fuse is not long enough. It's not. We got so many. Okay, I try to find nice words and I can't, so I just have to say it. Everybody goes around here seeing whose balls are bigger. And it's the most irritating thing. It's like no one is actually, it's very hard to find people who actually want to work together. The closest that I found here in Detroit was one particular person. She was doing Afro-Cuban, that's what she called it, Afro-Cuban skirt dances. And I sent her a note and specifically asked her, do you do Orisha dances? She said, yes. I'm like, I was doing it in DC. I missed it. Do you do them? Yes. Well, I took her class. It's a 6-week course. I did it twice, and we learned 3 movements each class. That was it.
3 movements?
That was it. And she had the live drummers and everything. And at the end of the class, everyone grabs their skirt and does bump and grinds in front of the drummers. And it's like, okay, so this is not what I signed up for.
Okay, wait. Bump and grinds in front of the drummers?
Yeah.
Well.
See, I would immediately think that's disrespectful to the spirit of the drums.
Right.
I would kind of be like, no, we ain't doing that. But I know everybody has their thing.
It's nuts, you know. It's like this house thinks they're better than this house, so this person learned from this person, and it's just a whole bunch of competition. And this person speaks against this person. I don't have time for all of that. I can't.
Well, you know, and it's true. You also see this online in the spiritual community. There is, I know, what was it last week? I had somebody, because I was supporting businesses, and somebody messaged me and they were like, you're supporting somebody that I don't rock with. And I'm like, how do I know that? How am I supposed to understand who you mad with this week because you're going to be cool with them next week? I can't keep up with that. I have jobs, I have families, I have businesses that I'm running. So you want to throw your balls around, cool, but that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
But you see it in the community where people get very possessive. And this is like what I do. I don't want to teach you anything more because I don't want you to outgrow me or have your business outgrow mine.
Yes.
And that's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because I think there's more than enough for everybody to get in where they fit in within the community.
Right.
But it's good that you see it and you learn and you know, I got to go a different path. I got to do my own thing with it. Somebody was asking, I think it was Angelina, she wants to know, how do you balance work, running a business, and your family?
I put everybody to work. No.
Hey, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
I would too.
Okay.
I mean, you know, because you don't really turn it off. It's hard to turn it off. So, I mean, I grow the garden. I have grandkids that pull the weeds, and I grow. You know, everybody has a job. Oh, somebody's upset.
Somebody beating Voodoo up. That's what it is.
Oh.
Beating Voodoo's ass. That's what he's doing.
Jazzy was coming over here trying to mess with me, and he wanted to attack. Jazzy,
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
we on the live.
I thought he was fighting Voodoo.
He thought somebody was getting ready to touch me. Lord have mercy. God forbid. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean for Yoda to interrupt you. So go ahead and say that again.
You're fine. No, everyone has something to do. I mean, the garden, the making of things, everyone has something that they have. So if you hear you got a job.
I think it's good. I think even with Mama Star is like that too. Mama Star is like, if you come over, you put your hands in it. This is what we're gonna do. But I mean, it should be a family business, because even for me, working on my products and stuff like that, I do a lot of that by myself. But I'm thinking I should be at least passing this on to my children, whether they want to use it or not. It still would be a good thing for them to learn.
Yeah, my son is he's learning. He's slowly coming into the fold on some stuff, you know, because he is in denial. And it's like, you can't deny it, little boy. If you come from me, you can't deny. Stop calling him a little boy. He's 32 years old. But
you know, not like you have a 32-year-old son.
She really doesn't. I was just about to say that. What?
I know. Did you see my face? I was like, what? Did she say 32?
Y'all know how old I turned last Saturday?
At first, I thought she said 13. I was like, oh, okay.
No, my oldest grandson is 12. What are you talking about?
I'm shocked. I mean, honestly, that's why you got that younger man. You do not look. You do not look at all. You know what? Go on out the way. Go on out the way. Kevin gonna mess around and come on this live and knock you on the head through the screen.
He's out there getting the grill started. He's making dinner.
Oh, good. So 32, he's gifted, and he's just now kind of coming into using it.
He's slowly, I'm having him do stuff at the store and make a few things here and there. So he's slowly coming into it.
That's good. That's good. I think a lot of people don't realize, especially if you are gifted, a lot of times that your children will share into that. And I think it's the right thing to at least introduce the work to them, because it may become the legacy. It really did. Right. I didn't grow up. I know a lot of spiritual workers are like, my grandmother taught me, and this is where I learned. I didn't grow up in that environment. They were very closed off. They didn't want us to see what they were doing. They even spoke Creole, so we couldn't even figure out what they were doing. And they didn't want to teach us Creole because they didn't want us to know.
Wow.
So it was really, I think they wanted to push Catholicism. They did this other stuff in the background, but they didn't want it to be mainstream. And so I really, when I look back on that, I think about how much knowledge that could have been passed down and shared that they chose not to.
Wow. Well, do they talk to you like, they still talk to you in your ears at least?
You know, my grandmother she comes a lot, and she actually helps now with recipes and things from the other side. But when she was alive, it was like, nah, we're not doing that. She was very secretive about it. And I respect that. I do. But I know for me, with my children, I would like different. You know, with my children are eventually my grandkids. Whenever they come, I would love to be able to share that. I think
I got some for you. You want some? I got some for you.
Oh, no. I can wait. I could wait. Look, I'm talking, and I had to look sideways because I didn't want them to hear it. You heard?
I've had a 4-year-old quarantining with us this whole time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me find another question for you. Let's see.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay.
Well, you know, the term witch
Hmm.
gets a lot of stigma, especially as people most women that call themselves witches are African American, and it will give some folks a little more um something solid to stand on hearing from an African American woman that calls herself a witch, because you see people online, but to see somebody talk about it, faith,
Hmm.
like that, it will bring some substantiation.
Hmm.
So how could a person that's African American that calls themselves a witch deal with that stigma? Because there's been posts online forever where they say, "Oh well, that's a European term and it shouldn't be used." And then they go to Africa and they say you have the Age, and then that's another
Hmm.
term, and
True.
then you have the Iyami and stuff like that. So how do you tackle these things? What would be your advice for people that, or African American women and men, because you know any they always say that a witch is a witch no matter what sex you are.
Right.
So
Well,
what advice would you give them?
see, I'm a little warped. I generally, honestly, from the bottom of my feet, don't give a care on what people
Well,
think.
you can say fuck. You could have said fuck.
So I mean, and that's always been me. I mean, I just my own family don't speak to me. Most of my mother's side that live here in Detroit do not speak to me. And I'm fine with that. That's fine. This is how you guys want. That's very Christian of you guys. That's how you want to act. Fine, whatever. Um, I've always been different. I've always been ostracized, always. So I mean, I was that 14-year-old heavy metal head rocking out the Ronnie James Dio, walking around with the devil horns. So, so I think you have to have self-assurance in yourself even before you even step into anything like this anyways. So if you're
Right.
gonna step into something
Absolutely.
like this, you gotta have your shit together and honestly not give two fucks what anybody thinks of you. Because if you do, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You really, I don't really think it's very easy for anyone to even step into a particular ATR if you're gonna worry about what people think, because that's different from the so-called mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. I think a lot of people, like I tell some people, you got to come out the closet.
Yes.
You got to, this is who you are. And if you're going to practice, you need to embrace it 100%. Because to me, it affects your work. If you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to hide a part of who you are because you're worried about how people are going to react to it. Everybody, I remember when I came back from Haiti and I shared this over and over again, 40 people unfriended me because
Wow.
of the word voodoo. 40 people within a week. And it was because they were scared. They didn't understand who I was. They thought I changed. And to be honest, I don't miss them at all.
See?
At all. But I think you have to be authentic to practice. If you're having to hide a part of your practice, I don't think you're getting the full power. You're not embracing the full power. And I know some people because of who they live with and things like that, but at some point you have to outgrow that. You
Right.
have to, or it's going to hold you back. And it's a shame, like you say, that a lot of your family doesn't connect with you
Mm-hmm.
because of their belief system. I remember when my mom, when I first told her I was going to conzo, and she was like, voodoo, but we're Catholic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she couldn't wrap her head. She thought, I had went to the dark side. And I
Wow.
remember coming back from Haiti, and we were looking at an African film, and it's something in the village. They say, call the voodoo woman. And my mama say, here you come. And I didn't know what she was talking about. So then I looked at the movie, and this woman coming there shaking her thing, and she clearing up the village. And my mom say, that's what you do. And that was my first
Wow.
understanding that she got it, that
Mm.
she knew that that's what I was, that I was coming in as a healer. So I think she needed something to reference.
Wow.
Right.
But you get a lot of people that have a problem with using the term witch, and I really don't think we need the label.
No, I don't. Actually, my whole name started as a Yahoo email address. That's how it started. Years ago, before Facebook and everything, I joined some Facebook group that was about African American Wiccans. That's what it was. And I joined this Facebook group back in like the early 2000s, and Abby's name was Harlem Witch. And I thought that was sweet. And I'm like, well, I'm from Motown, Motown Witch. There you go. And it just stuck and it turned into a title.
And it's good. It actually is good on building a brand on. So that may have even been spirit guided.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those things that people can connect with. It's where you're from, it's who you are, it's what you do. So people get that. Now, you're having somebody on here that's saying, how should I connect with my gifts, or how do I find out what my gifts are? Yvette, you do readings, right? You don't do readings?
Nope.
I don't think she do.
Do you have somebody in your shop that does readings?
I have two different people in my shop. Cassie's my main reader. Cassie Derwin, and Mary. She calls her Mary Queen of Swords. She does readings as well.
So
I mean, what I do, I feel people. So when I'm talking to you, if you want me to do work and I can feel you, if I know if you're lying through your teeth, just, so.
What's your sign?
Aries.
Oh, yeah, you know. I think a lot of people, like you say, that you don't need tools. There's some people that really don't need tools. They're very intuitive and they connect with spirit. And especially when it comes to doing work and things like that, I think a lot of people just know, should I take this on, yay or nay? And it connects. But you guys, if you're in the area and you go to the shop when you're able to go to the shop, she has 2 in-house readers that you can connect with, or can they connect with them online? Do they have even online links to you, or is it just in the shop?
They're in the shop, and then they have their own Facebook pages and fan pages.
Okay, so you guys, if you want to reach out to her readers, contact her so that she can put you in contact with them, so you can make that connection. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Oh, Tatu Kampu is on here.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Now,
hello.
How long have you been doing belly dancing?
Ooh, 30? Not quite 30. 25. I'll say 25 years.
25 years. That's a long time.
I started doing it when my son was about 14 or 15, and I was trying not to kill him real hard. So I had to do something with myself, and I found some belly dance classes, and it kind of stuck. And next thing you knew, I was on somebody's stage in Toledo. I don't even know how that happened.
That's cool though. I like it. A woman of many talents. Plus, it has to be kind of relaxing too, right?
It's because I don't do the traditional cabaret style with the little tiny things and all that, everything hanging out. I don't do that kind. I do tribal. I mean, I'm a heavy metal rocker head, so the tribal works better for that because I can make my costumes the way I want them to be, and it's a whole different mechanics behind that kind of dance.
It sounds like something that has a lot of power behind it.
Yeah.
When you talk about tribal dance, do you incorporate a lot of the African traditional dance into it?
You can. I've incorporated snakes on a couple performances. So, yeah.
So if we were happen to do a Google search and go online, would we be able to come across any of these?
There were no cameras there. No, the snake performances were all done at rock bars during times when certain things were happening there. And I just remember the guys in the audience freaking out, going, "Wait, those snakes are real!" Because the snake raised his head up halfway through the performance. It was funny.
I probably would have peed on myself. I ain't gonna lie, if I would have been in the audience, because I do not like them. But it would be so fascinating. It really would be interesting to see. So yeah, I don't know. I was trying to look for some secret videos where we could pull them up.
Thank goodness, most of my shit is before cell phone cameras. Thank goodness.
She about to become the spiritual TMZ. That's
hey, it happens.
There's a couple of performances that's online, but they're not the best quality video. It's just me and 2 other. We had started our own troupe at one point. It was 3 Black women with natural hair that liked rock music. So we would belly dance to rock songs.
Oh, Tata Kampu say your belly dancing is A1. So he giving you a shout out.
okay.
Sherman, don't get him started because you and him gonna go back and forth.
See?
Let me see. I'm trying to see if we have any more questions. Somebody's saying I love metal too.
Excellent.
I really love because you do come off very different and free spirited to me. Your energy is really intoxicating. It's like when you meet somebody, you're not really sure how that connection is going to be, and I was like, okay, I like her. I really did. You never know. I've met some people, and I'm kind of like, we're gonna be good in passing, but I really, really like you, and I like the fact that you are a businesswoman, and you come off very free spirited, but very smart with the way that you do things, and I like that. Now, somebody was asking a while ago, were you thinking about expanding to other areas in Detroit, or are you going to try to stay with one shop, or what? That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, I'm sure.
Shop, but we are looking at a larger spot. We're looking for a larger space because the shop, honestly, my store started as my husband's dance studio. That's how it started. It started as a capoeira studio, and I had a small little counter in the back. And due to demand, it just like grew, and it started to take the studio things, and I could not. So he teaches at an African center on the east side of Detroit, and so we're looking for a bigger spot so we can still have both things together.
It's just like a woman. First we drop the toothbrush off, then we bring the shampoo and the brush. Next thing you know, we don't throw a pillow somewhere in there, and the blanket follows, and then it's ours. We don't understand how it happens, but it becomes ours.
My son already told me that. He goes, "You just took over the man's everything."
That's what we do. That is exactly what women do. We just come in, and it looked like it paid off. Like it actually was a good thing.
It did. It just worked out. So our lease is up next in March. So I'm already looking for. I want to buy. So I'm looking at real estate now.
Good. Yes, own. Make it your own. And a lot of expansion. I feel like you got a lot of expansion that's coming in. Now, for people that want to order products from you, what's your website? How can they get in contact with you?
MotownWitch.com.
Okay. And anybody who wants to make donations to you, what's your Cash App?
Motown Witch.
All right, good. We good.
Yeah, it's posted. It's there too. So anybody.
Everything is Motown Witch.
Now, I keep getting a lot of questions where people are like, how do you connect with your ancestors? So I'm thinking they want your interpretation on how to connect to the ancestors.
Oh, wow. I've been talking to them since I was a little kid. They just come to me. So I would have to say being open to your dreams, being open to what you hear, trusting what you smell. All those things come to me. I know when I crave certain things, I know that certain people are working with me. When I smell certain things, I know somebody's there. Even outside of just my ancestors, my son's grandfather, me and him had great connection, and he used to just come sit on my bed. And I could just see him fully sitting there on my bed. So it just happens. But you have to be open to it. We tend to fight a lot of things and kind of dumb it down and deaden it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to acknowledge where it's coming from.
I know you made a post recently about you were at the shop and somebody said they saw a spirit walk behind you, and you were kind of like,
yeah, that happens all day.
I mean,
you sit in the kitchen and the basement door pops open, and it's locked. It happens.
I think people, a lot of times there is a natural connection that happens. Ancestors tend to be around you. So it's not like you're trying to force the connection. Like she was saying, you just kind of have to sometimes accept it and open your eyes to things that are going on around you that are happening. And I think
the best example that I have, one good one is like my granny was Al Green nut. So, and mothballs that are associated with her for me. So sometimes it'll be like the whiff of mothballs that go by my face, and then an Al Green song will come on the radio out of nowhere. So it's like, okay, I got you. And then I address it that way, and then we go on from there. And even my son has said it. He was out doing something he didn't have no business doing with some people he wasn't supposed to be with. And he's like, the mothball thing, just, I couldn't breathe. All I could smell was mothballs. I'm like, she told you you was fucking up. That's why.
It's true. Sometimes it's real simple like that. Like you say, it's a smell, it's a feeling, it's you know, it's something that you connect to. Because a lot of times I'll smell certain perfumes that my grandmother used to wear, or a cigarette that my grandfather used to smoke, and you know, and you just smile. So I think if you're trying to make it more complicated, y'all, don't. Just kind of go by what you feel, because I think a lot of people try to overthink it. We're living in an age now where everybody's like, I want to be the supreme witch, I want to be the supreme empath, I want to have this magical connection. But you don't realize that it's kind of organic. It happens for a lot of people. Let's see if we can get some more questions.
Yep, the key is paying attention, listening to your gut, listening to just being able to just sit and listen and pay attention mainly.
Another one is when I was starting to make soap. I was interested in making soap, and my great grandmother used to make soap down south, but I didn't sit with her when she did it in the back in the big old pot. I can call it a cauldron now. She had the big old pot with the fire underneath it, and she made the soap. And I never sat out there with her when she was doing it. Well, I started to try to make soap. I think I was in my 30s. I'm trying to make the soap, and I'm reading the books, and the books, saponification and all these other words. I'm like, I don't know what the hell all this stuff is. I went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and I could hear it clearly what I needed to do. And I grabbed everything I needed to grab. I put it in, there was a lye calculator, whatever, online. And I put all those ingredients in there. Perfect. I've been making that soap ever since. So when people come and ask me questions about making soap, I don't have an answer. I just know how I do it. I don't have an answer on what makes what saponify and all these other words.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because that is a connection between your spirits, and that was for you. So I think a lot of people don't realize that when you start growing spiritually, you get a lot of guidance, because you get a lot of things that come from spirit. Let's see, let me get a question. Somebody was saying, isn't when one is called to any form of spiritualism, it's most of the time because of a family bloodline. I don't think so. I think that you can be drawn to something because maybe your family did it. But I know a lot of people that practice certain traditions now that have nothing to do with their bloodline.
Yeah, I don't see that, because there's a lot of Caucasian practitioners that don't have a drop of black in their ancestry or anything, and they're
wait, a drop of black?
Not even a drop. Some of them as white as that old school bread, and is in an ATR. So no, it is not always bloodline. I tell people that, like, oh well, they feel like they have a claim on something just because they're black, and I'm like, look, this is a Haitian practice. How can you say that you own this when this is Haitian? You're African American. Haitians don't even like you. Sit down somewhere.
No, you didn't sit down somewhere. Now, I don't know if it's the Hoteps or what, but they say that Africa and the motherland gave birth. So everybody has African blood because she was the origin. So they got 1%. They got 1%. You got to give them the 1%, Sherwin.
If you coming from the mountains of Caucasus, how can I give you 1%?
Oh.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm being real now. Come on, people. Now you know how I am.
Wait, I got one for that one. We have a meeting when we can't have meetings again. The third Saturday of every month, the Real Black Witches of Detroit, and it's an open meeting for Black women or women of color, not just Black women, women of color. Fellowship meeting. There's no men and no children. This one particular you can't come. She says, but I got my ancestry DNA. And I have 2% African.
No, she did not have to come in with her paper. Her paper say, I'm 2%. Let me in this group.
She said, I got
no,
receipts.
sweetheart, you can't come.
You got to
Oh
keep.
my God. You
I
know, I don't
mean,
heard it all.
you really have to look at it realistically because too many people are throwing genealogy out there. Too many people are throwing ancestry. Oh well, this black lady used to live with us and she used to raise us and stuff like this. That sounds like Lama Dama. Ma'am, go sit down. You had a mammy. That don't mean nothing.
You gotta be fair though, because there are a lot of witches that do practice European traditions that
Mm-hmm.
are black that the Europeans are saying, no, that does not connect to your ancestry. So
Mm-hmm.
it almost, you know what I always tell people, get in what you fit in. If the
Right.
spirit is willing to work with you, then work with the
Mm-hmm.
spirit.
Yeah,
If it's not willing to
exactly.
work with you, I have seen some people have a hard time connecting to certain spirits, and it's because the spirit is like, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
we're not doing it. So you have to be realistic about what you're trying to do. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where a lot of people, some people assume that they're supposed to be included in every group, and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You are not. There are places that I wouldn't even try to get into because it's not my place. So I think if you're really trying to grow, you have to be around people that, first of all, want you there,
Right.
that want to be able to work with you and teach you, and you can grow in that environment. And like you say, for some people, it's gonna be too much. It won't be able to happen. That 2% just took me out though. That sounds like something I would
It's
do. Like,
true.
okay, look, I got my ancestry.com. It's highlighted. Let me in.
It's true. And you know what's interesting is with this whole Legba thing that's going around, someone sent me screenshots where these people are getting kicked out of these groups because they're light skinned.
What?
Yeah, they're getting kicked out of these groups and stuff because they're light skinned because the people in the groups feel like they aren't fully black because they're mixed.
Okay, what does that have
Wow.
to do with Legba?
I- because the lady that died was white and they feel like because she was white she died because she was working with a black god.
Wow.
You know, that's why I made the post that I made. I think people, first of all, you have to be respectful of any tradition that you're getting involved with. Second of all, you need to have some type of knowledge or research. Now, we know Frida is mulatto.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have somebody that's practicing voodoo and you feel like they not dark enough, because I read somewhere too that somebody said that Danto, to work with Danto, you have to be dark skinned. She won't work with you unless you really, really black. And I was like, where do we get this from? Where did this come from?
Do not know.
So that is crazy. So they're putting people out the group because they think what, they gonna die because they light skinned?
That they feel like that the person doesn't have, is it does not have the license to work or do or be part of that tradition because they're mixed because they have lighter skin and like in the screenshot it shows where the girl that was getting kicked out, you can go to her page and she's light skinned but you could tell she's black, and at the top of it she was like, y'all, I'm getting kicked out of this group because of my skin color. So I'm like, people doing too much.
I think, yeah, that's kind of going into ignorance. Now, what Yvette was saying about having a group for Black witches, I think what you're doing with that is you're building a community where there isn't
Hmm.
one, and you're giving people a place to come and learn and
So many
fellowship.
women come in and have questions. They have so many questions throughout the week,
Exactly.
all the time. So I'm like, well, this is a place, and I usually have one of my friends moderate the meeting. So she'll run the meeting, and then they can ask questions. They can.
Hmm.
So I have people who are very various. How can I say this? Various paths, seasoned, that can answer these questions without prejudice. So it's like, no question is stupid. We're not going to laugh at you. We're not going to make you feel less than. And I think that questions, because so many people make you feel bad if you don't know something.
It's true. It's true. I think a lot of people need safe havens, and I don't have a problem with people. I never had an issue with groups and things like that because I agree with you. I think that sometimes there is, when there's like-minded people, there's comfortable there. You can be comfortable there, and you can be be yourself and feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
But an issue with somebody that's telling me that because I'm light skinned that I can no longer participate in this group, that would be, they did them a favor. They did them a favor because they were supposed to walk away from that anyway.
Right.
Because that's illogical. You got to have something. I'm logic. It got to make sense to me. If it don't make sense to me, then I don't want to be associated with the group anyway. So they did them a favor. Let's see. They did. They really did. Some of these groups on Facebook and stuff, I had to kind of delete. And people added me to groups that my belief system was different. And I don't like stupidity. I can understand not understanding or because I have things I don't know. But when it becomes to me that it gets too far left, I'm like, I can't do that. That's not, you're not teaching anybody. You're not really even working with spirit. So you got to walk away from situations because you can have toxic connections in this community.
Yes.
And and if you're trying to grow and spread, you don't need those toxic connections. That's where your discernment comes in. Like with your group, you get to pick and choose who comes in because somebody could be a problem. We don't want this problem, so we're not going to let you in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people don't realize, sometimes people are so headstrong on trying to be connected to something that they don't realize that it's not maybe what they need to be connected to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad if there's anyone who's interested in something like that, reach out to her. If you are trying to learn, because she's saying that she's giving you a safe environment or a haven. And if you're new and you're really trying to learn and you're dealing with looking for mentors, reach out to her if you're in that area. Because I feel like they should have communities that have groups like that. Let me see.
We need it. We really do, especially people of color. We really do.
Definitely.
Because we don't have it. Every other culture has have something they can bond in, especially spiritually. But we always trying to find, oh well, I'm gonna go over here and do this, I'm gonna go over here and do that, and blah 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 blah, and then we get into the whole war and everybody throwing at somebody and everybody doing this. That's draining. They're doing too much. We need to all come together, and we need more African American covens. We need we need all this. I ain't gonna lie. A long time ago, I tried it, but I'm in the Bible Belt. It didn't work. So.
But I think too, like you said, you really, if you're gonna build a community, it's based on who you're dealing with. Elders. And not just because we got a lot of elders out there that are starting communities that don't need to. That really don't need to. And I think so, and that's why a lot of things in the Black community kind of go to the side because of who we connect to. So that hurts us. I do agree with that. I think we need credible connections, covens, houses, organizations for us. But I think too, at some point, as a community of Black witches or Black practitioners, we also need to start being a lot more vocal about the people that don't need to be doing this.
Right.
We're horrible at keeping secrets in this community because we don't want to cause problems with other people, but we're letting other people initiate and join covens that they shouldn't. And I think that at some point is going to change because it has to.
Or just do some really jacked up stuff. I mean, there's a particular person I used to work with that we did a cleansing for this family. We were doing they felt that they had something on them. So we're going to do a cleansing on this family. We're doing the cleansing, we're asperging and doing all the things that we're doing. And halfway through it, she just read the guy and told the guy about some chick that he was messing with. His fiance standing right there.
Whoa.
I'm like, what the entire hell? And she says, well, I told them that this was going to cause healing. That's not healing. You just tore these people apart.
She literally broke them down.
Yes. I was so mad. See, and I've grown because there was no bloodshed.
I think, unfortunately, you see that a lot, and you're kind of like, okay, what just happened? What we doing?
Right. And it's like we deal with these people, so I have to distance myself from you now because you do this. It's not the only time you've done something like this. That was probably the worst thing she had done. So, but that's a whole nother ball of wax.
I think you're very right where you say sometimes you have to look at the situation and go, you know what? I got to go. I got to move this way. I got to move to a different side because I can't support this. I can't co-sign to it. And I think that a lot of times we get, especially a lot of young practitioners that get caught up in that. And then they kind of pick up those things, and it kind of, you know, you get a wildfire of stuff that is false, the wrong way to do it, not connected to spirit. And, you know, they go, well, my elder is so-and-so. And I don't like to speak bad about people, but they'll be like, should I go ahead and go into this house? And I'll just be like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't need to say nothing else. Just don't do it. Now, if you choose to do it, I give them the eye and that's it. But don't do it. But I agree with you. I think sometimes, and I've seen it a lot too, where I kind of question people and I'm like, oh my God, you know, please don't tag me in that picture. Because that wasn't on me. But we learn. We live, we learn. And I think that some people, that's how we get the titles as elders.
Yes.
Because we're able to discern. We've gone through some things and now we can say that's not right. That's not how we do things around here. And I'm glad that you're putting a more positive spin in the community and saying, I'm going to open this up so that you can learn and learn the proper way. Because that does say a whole lot. I think a lot of people as priestess and priests don't realize that we have an obligation to the community.
Yes.
Right.
To share knowledge, to uplift. It's not just about opening botanicas and making money. I think that's where a lot of people think. They see that and they're like, oh, they just want to make money. But people don't realize behind the scenes what all goes into, you know, working for your community.
You have to be willing to help. I mean, today, during this COVID thing, I'm open, but I close an hour earlier so that I can get the rest. Because I need to rest because I don't know what kind of germs there are out here. So, but today, this woman was in dire need. So we ended up staying, I stuck around until what, six something? Because she needed to get all of this out, and she needed someone to talk to, and she needed some kind of direction. So that would have been rude to say, look, gotta go.
No, so that's the role of a proper healer. It really is. People don't understand, you know, this is 24/7 for a lot of us.
Yes.
It really is. Whether it's dealing with our family, whether it's dealing with people that are messaging us or coming into us, this is 24/7. This is what you sign up for. You know, people are like, oh, well, I want to become a witch or I want to become a priestess because I want to love work and get my man back and all that stuff like that. You in for a rude awakening. It gets a lot deeper than that. And really, you're going to be called to do a lot in your community. Spirit is going to put people in your path.
Yes.
What is the hardest situation that you dealt with a client, if you can share, as a practitioner or a priestess?
Someone who recently, her teenage daughter and her best friend were both killed by this crazy man.
Oh my God, I saw that on your post. Yeah. And it broke my heart. I remember
that was the hardest thing. And I'm still talking to her. So when she left Detroit and moved to North Carolina, one of them Carolinas, with her sister. And so when she calls, I drop everything to talk to her because she still needs that.
I remember her heart broke. And I think I saw it on your post, and then I went to her page because I just felt like this overwhelming pain. And I knew that this was going to take a long time for this woman to get past it. How's she doing?
She's getting therapy because the sister is in the military. So the military has offered her therapy for this. So that's helping a lot. So just between the therapy that she's receiving and the best I can say is that I'm there for when she needs to let that out.
And see, that's going to be a long-term healing. That's a commitment that you made.
Because I mean, she lost her. I mean, I know I can relate to a certain extent. My child did not die, but I had to come back to Detroit because my son was shot 3 times, and I had to come back to Detroit for that. And then he had to learn how to walk again and all these things, and I was here to deal with that. So and the person that he was with was murdered. So that other family had to deal with that. And the person who did this was a kid that grew up in my house. So there was a whole lot so I feel her, and it takes a minute.
Wow. I'm so sorry you went through that. I mean, I know Detroit kind of has, you read so much. I really, after that case, I remember reading more and more cases. I was like, what the hell was going on that month? It was freaking crazy.
It was
And I
not.
kept thinking, for the priestess or the practitioners there, that's going to be a heavy freaking month to get through.
It's a lot. It's a lot. That means tequila in the cup with the, yeah, that's at the end of the day, this a nice hot shower, and then I get to sit and unplug. Because you have to unplug. You have
Mm-hmm.
to give me some loud music and some guitars and let me just stomp this out, and then I'm good.
No, that was going to be my next question, was how do you let go of that? But you're right. You're
And then,
absolutely right.
and then in between, go down to the river because we got, beautiful river walks here. So go down to the river, sit by the river, commune with nature, do that. But that doesn't get me as much as give me some AC/DC and some, I'm good. Just, I got to stomp it out.
See, and I'm booty music. I'm like, okay, let me turn on my booty music and twerk it out. We got to twerk it out. But that's my thing. But you got to have something to transmute that energy, because if you
Yeah.
don't, it will weigh you down.
Yep.
100%. So what is the goal moving forward? What do you want to do? What is the Motown Witch want to do in the next 2 to 3 years? I mean, I know you can't put too much out there because you got these haters that's going to be trying to block you.
Haters
Totally.
watching.
But just give us a little bit of a taste of what's going on.
Especially the main one who said she was gonna hex me and shut me down. I'm sure she's watching.
A smidgen. I hope she watching. Oh, I hope she watching. Hey, tell her something to blow her drawers off right now. Just poof.
Oh, hold on, let me let the cat in. Y'all go ahead and talk it out. Look at me, I'm all nosy. I'm looking at the screen like, who? What's the comments? What the comments doing?
2 to 3 years. I don't know. I mean, I want to buy my bigger building. That's basically it. Have a larger building because I need a larger space to have a few more readers so they can have more privacy. Because right now, what I have is a back room, and if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go through that back room. So that's basically it. I just need a bigger spot just for us to do more. And I may get with Voodoo Simoes and learn some more other stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He always ready. He pretty much, and he loved to travel. He'd come to you for sure.
He harasses me. I know.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, you family. It is what it is. You family.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the door is always open.
Always. Tata Kampu asked a question. You know what? I've been waiting for the damn longest to clarify this shit.
What?
And you know how I am. He asked about the video of the white folks on St. John's Eve. He talking about Sally Ann Glassman. That's Sally Ann Glassman and that video that's going around with her doing the vivi on the ground. Now,
I thought you were about to talk about the cake mix cleanse. So we talking about the vivi. There's so much that we could address with this, but let's go with the vivi.
Yeah, she's doing a vivi, and then they're all around dancing. And see, you can clearly see a black man in the background. And this lady starts clapping, and then the black man looks at the lady and shakes his head like that, and she just stops. And people always spot that in the video. But Sally Ann Glassman was once, she would hate it, she consoled, but when she got back, she twisted that shit. She twisted it because she was vegan for one, or vegan. And so she decided to create her own tradition of voodoo where she consoles people in New Orleans. She gives all the loa, fruits and vegetables. She don't believe in no sacrifices. And she does this head washing with birthday cake, supposedly on the point of Azalea Freighter. Yeah, she has a whole YouTube video on where she was on a long time ago. I think it was Beyond Belief or something like that.
That George Lopez show.
Oh no, this is an old one. She's been doing this shit for a long time.
She's been doing the cake mix that long?
Yes, where it was on a video. I think, like I said, I think it was Beyond Belief or something, where she had the bowl on a vivid for Freda, and she has her hands in the bowl, and she's squeezing the cake and mixing the cake up, and then the person has their head over the bowl, and she puts the cake mix or whatever on top of the person's head, and then she wraps the person's head up in white. Yeah, Sally Ann. Sally Ann goes way, way back. Sally Ann is old. Sally Ann has books out. She created the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Um, she mixes New Orleans Voodoo, OTO, which is the Ordo Templi Orientis, some
Mhm.
Rosicrucian stuff, all that stuff. But a lot of people online takes that video and try to use that as a reason to say, white people shouldn't be in voodoo and stuff like that. That's not real voodoo. That's not Haitian voodoo. That's New Orleans stuff that she decided to put together and do. That video does not discredit anyone that is white from practicing voodoo, because as we know practitioners that are white that practice authentic voodoo. So yeah, that wasn't even initiation. That was just St. John's Eve that she does every year, which kind of find out, I guess everybody has to get her blessing to do anything on that day.
Oh
She's been
yeah.
doing it for so
What?
long that they have to talk to her on that day to do anything beforehand.
It's
Seriously.
true. It
Mm-hmm.
is true. I think the thing about it is, and I tell so many people, research before you commit, especially with elders and mentors. There's a lot of literature, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of things out there that should be red flags to people. And if they choose to move forward with something like that, then so be it. That's what they want. I have to
Right.
think that. Because if you telling me that I'm coming there, you fixing to put some cake mix in my hair, we got a problem. We got a problem. And I can't see black people allowing that to happen. Because we can't just you can't just go in there and just rinse that. That's a whole process. So I think it's unfortunate. You got a lot of videos because of that death of that young women that are circling now with voodoo that's not voodoo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
maybe this will give people an opportunity to say, you know what, let me look at this person because this is a mambo, or this is an ugan, or this is a priestess, or this is somebody who practices, and that's who I need to reach out to. Because I think moving forward, a lot of people are going to wean it out this false and fake stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always tell people you want to be called a witch until they start burning us at the stake. And then the real is going
Right.
to come out.
Right.
Because we're going to see who really is going to die for their spirits, or who's willing to die for their spirits, and who out here just faking the funk. And that's what you're going to see.
You have to be able to stand on your own. That's the most important thing. Always. Always. Because the person who I started with on the voodoo route with tried that vegan crap. She didn't let that be known until we got to that point. And we got to that point of the so-called Kanzo, and she said, you can't offer blood because then the spirits will always want blood. And because she doesn't do that, we're not going to do it. And I'm like, okay, something's totally missing. And I questioned a couple things. She got pissed off at me and told me because she was Mambo, I was supposed to listen to her. It's like, hello, I'm Yvette. Have you met me? That doesn't work in my world. So,
Absolutely.
and so then she told everybody that they could not talk to me anymore. And she blocked me. And then I had people inbox me because every time they asked a question, she blocked them as well. The funny part is, me and Hussein Louise had this conversation, and he knew exactly who I was talking about.
Of course he do. Yeah, he
It's,
knows now.
it's about 3 vegan mambos. It really is. It's about 3 vegan mambos out there. So it's probably not hard to figure out who it could be. But
Oh.
I think the whole thing about it, like you say, you asked questions and you got blocked, and it's because that wasn't the path. Spirit
She told me
showed
I was
you.
supposed to do what she said. She said, now even I had to go get baptized Catholic. She says, you don't have to be in part of the church, but just go get baptized because the saints won't work with you if you're not baptized.
Oh, I
And
know exactly who you're talking about.
and I'm like, you sound absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
It just came to me too who you was talking about.
Yeah, I think the thing about it is like you say, you were like, nah, because then
You're
that becomes a
insane.
cult. It becomes a cult when somebody's telling you to shut up and do what I tell you to do, and your spirit is telling you everything against it. That becomes a cult. So no.
I didn't take too many ass whoopings as a kid because I didn't do what I was told. That's never worked with me.
My mom was telling me that last night too. She go, "You never listen." And I say, at 52, I don't think it's about to change.
It's not about to happen. I'm sorry.
It is what it is. Well, we already hitting that mark where we're going over, and I know you had a long day, and I know Sherwin, you tired too. But we're gonna let you finish out. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything promoting your business, promoting what you're doing, whatever you want to put out there.
Motownwitch.com. If you're in Detroit, come by 18018 James Cousins Freeway. We're open right now during this mess, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, because I need to get the more rest because I don't trust these virus mess and I don't want to get sick.
Don't trust it because it's not over. Don't trust it.
It's not. Coming home today, because it's warm in Detroit today, all I saw was people in shorts walking up and down the street, no mask, no nothing. So it's not over.
What? Oh no.
Right. Which is why I had to make that hard decision. I had to finally just give in and listen to the hotel and listen to everyone about the festival. Because it's like there's going to be a resurgence of something because nobody's listening.
It's true. It's true. But you know what? I think honestly, next year you won't have any problems. Things will kind of go, the flow will be better, and we should be way past this. So it actually is going to be better for you.
Yeah,
you don't want to have to hold some type of event constantly worried about, the coughing, the sick. You don't want that.
Right.
I'm still be worried. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna still be worried. I am.
Well, I know you are. I know you are. But thank you so much for being here. And I want you to come back. I do, because I enjoy, I like your energy and I like the way we talk together. So don't make this be the last time, all right? I want
All
you
you
to
have
come
to do is
back
invite me. Just invite me.
So you heard this, Sherwin?
Oh yeah, I'm a hijacker inbox. I'll be like,
all right,
so.
I just want to make sure I got a co-signer on it, so in case my ears is blocked up and I ain't hear nothing right. So thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon. Enjoy your family, okay?
Oh yes, most definitely. Enjoy your family. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.